Located on the western side of the island lies a tiny village with a big name. It's called Hope. Why a big name, one might ask? Hope is said to be the reason for such longing and desire. So today we take you on a journey of both the desirous and the longing for living while we explore the picturesque sides of this village. I'm Davia Chambers and Let's Talk Tobago starts now. C2C Marathon set to take off. THA hosts its annual Sports Awards Ceremony 2016 and the later town meeting held in Bell Garden. These stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago continues.
The Tobago House of Assembly has a plan, the Comprehensive Economic Development Plan, CEDP, and it is for all of us. Are you ready to benefit from higher levels of development in Tobago and a higher standard of living?
We ready!
The priority areas are branding Tobago, clean, green, safe and serene. Business development and entrepreneurship.
Are you ready?
Human capital development.
I'm ready.
Social development and resilience.
I'm ready.
Improved infrastructure and utilities. Enhanced safety and security.
I'm ready.
Environmental sustainability. Tourism.
Are you ready?
Marine resources and forestry.
Are you ready?
Good governance and institutional reform.
The CEDP is ready. Join us and get on board.
Let's travel the island, straight back to my land, even to Thailand. Anyway,
Welcome back. With this breathtaking view, waves crashing on the shore, villagers spending time on the beach, people fishing, this is Hope Bay. And talking about sea, our top story marries this view with sport. Are you up for the challenge of running from the Caribbean Sea to the Atlantic Ocean? Hold on, it's not as crazy as it sounds, especially if you're a long-distance runner. It's the C2C Marathon, the event that's internationally certified. It's the first of its kind on the island. Here's what you can expect.
You will start from the oldest rainforest reserve in the Western Hemisphere near Bloody Bay, through to Roxborough, then head along the Windward Road through quaint villages such as Bell Garden and Hope. Next, you'll pass through Scarborough and finish at the Pitti-True Beach, Little Rockley Bay. It sounds daunting, but that's the route for the first ever C2C Marathon later this month. It's an event that's helping to enhance the scope for sport tourism in Tobago.
This program promises to bring over 1,500 marathon runners to Tobago, and that is from our domestic market in Trinidad as well as our international markets, regional and otherwise. And so we quickly thought that because of the level of organization and because of the number of persons that this aspect will bring to Tobago, that it is worthwhile for us to help to fund.
The 26.2-mile marathon will start at 5 a.m. on Sunday, May 22nd. It's certified by the Association of International Marathons and Distant Races, AIMS, and the International Association of Athletics Federation, the IAAF. The event will see national, regional and international marathon runners participating in the event. Ahead of the marathon, there will also be a youth training camp.
We'll do a lot for track and field in terms of resurgence of distance running. I think in terms of the legacy that we have had in distance running, it will be a reminder and an opportunity to remind younger runners that we have had a long history in distance running, and it's an opportunity that they have outside of the what people might consider the traditional distances, 100 and 200 meters.
Now for those who aren't able to go the full distance, you have options. There's the half marathon also on May 22nd at 5:30 a.m. from Goodwood. A day earlier, there's the 10K at 4:30 p.m. from Bacolet and the 5K at 4 p.m. from Scarborough. But it's more than just 2 days of running. People will be able to take in the scenic and quiet village atmosphere and enjoy the island's culture.
And therefore the role of the division will be in mobilizing the cultural persons for performances, mobilizing our vendors, our entrepreneurs, and also a key part of it would also be about mobilizing communities and getting them to see that they can become a tourist for a day in their own island.
Almost 500 people have already registered for the race, which is spearheaded by C2C Events Limited with support from various divisions of the Tobago House of Assembly. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
As we all know, the steel pan is a musical instrument indigenous to our country. One man by the name of Tony Panjumbi Williams, a steel panist and master arranger from this tiny village of Hope, ensured that he gave back to his community after using his talent to travel around the world. I'm standing in front of the home of Hope Pan Groovers, where Williams dedicates his services. Now, while we're on the topic of service, Cove Eco-Industrial and Business Park has just opened 2 multi-producer units which will house entrepreneurs. This supports the Tobago House of Assembly's efforts of diversification to help stimulate growth. Here's more in this report.
If you're an agro-processor, this space can house your business. It's one of 2 new multi-producer units at the Cove Eco-Industrial and Business Park, which will help to facilitate economic development on the island. According to the Chief Executive Officer of the Eco-Industrial Development Company of Tobago, Bernard Mitchell, the units are designed with agro-processors in mind, as they meet international standards. He says each unit has the capacity to accommodate 9 individual tenants, who can alter the space to meet required local and international standards and obtain certification for export.
We have to ensure that whatever is produced in these buildings satisfy HACCP compliance, good manufacturing processes, as well as the pertinent IOC standards. So during the course of the design of these buildings, we had to stop for a bit, engage the pertinent experts in those areas, and do the necessary adjustments to make sure that what we are doing was fit for purpose.
Mr. Bernard says the buildings are also eco-friendly.
So we would find that the skylight that we have introduced is to minimize the need for commercial lighting. And additionally, we try to produce as much ventilation to minimize the use of air conditioning.
Potential tenants have already been engaged for the units.
The time between initiation of operation to prospective tenancy ranges between 9 months and 2 years. But it is happening. While we may not have control of many factors, and even if we address all the responsibilities that are in our care, there are still delays. And in fact, we are now in the process of activating tenants with whom we would have initiated discussions 2 years ago.
Secretary of Finance and Enterprise Development, Assemblyman Joel Jack, says he is satisfied that the buildings are completed and will soon be occupied. He says the island's processors and light manufacturers now have avenues to expand their business operations and realize their dreams of becoming full-fledged entrepreneurs. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
The Little Sparrow restaurant and bar is one of the oldest eating and drinking spots in this village. It's owned by John Solomon and is located to the left side of the pan tent. We stay on the issue of diversification, and this time with agriculture. Tobago farmers, even the agro-processors and those in the food industry, now have a facility where they can provide high-quality storage and packaging for their fresh produce. Omadara Mills has the details.
No longer will farmers have to worry about losing produce and money due to a lack of storage for their excess goods. That's because the first fresh produce packing house facility has been commissioned.
The facility will provide the ideal conditions for sanitization of fruits and vegetables, a proper grading system, and the provision of appropriate packaging, factors that will ensure farmers can export their goods at a high quality.
So what we're going to do is maintain appearance, texture, flavor, and nutrition value. We will protect food safety and reduce losses, both physical loss and a market value loss. So this packing house will ultimately be the focal point through which fresh produce safety is assured.
There'll be the provision of cool and cold storage facilities, testing to ensure that produce is free of harmful bacteria, and the opportunity for company labeling and branding.
It's a facility that adds a new dimension to the agricultural sector. It's a facility that's going to help the farmers in Tobago to upgrade themselves because this facility provides an avenue whereby farmers will be able to produce in a more efficient manner. They'll also be able to grade their facilities, grade their produce, and be able to open up new markets in terms of packages and so on, packaging their produce and so on.
The Fresh Produce Packing House is the responsibility of the Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment. The facility will ensure there's less wastage of fruits, vegetables and provision so that farmers can provide consumers with better quality foods.
You will be getting more clean vegetables, more secure vegetables, and vegetables that will benefit you on a whole because it is processed properly. So I think it will benefit the people also.
Just recently, a workshop on fresh produce safety was held for those in the food and agricultural industries. It means they are prepared to meet the sanitary standards for processing fruits and vegetables at the packing house facility. I'm Omar Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
On the other side of the break, we'll see who's in winners' rows at the THA Sport Awards ceremony. We'll be right back.
From the turquoise waters of the Caribbean Sea, through lush tropical rainforest and picturesque seaside villages, to the rugged coast of the Atlantic Ocean on Tobago's east coast, experience a destination marathon like no other. Sponsored by Flow and Republic Bank Limited. 4 races, 2 days, 1 finish line. The Tobago Sea-to-Sea Marathon, May 21st and 22nd, 2016. Come for the race, stay for the place. The possibilities are endless. Register now at sea2seamarathon.com and get ready to experience the beautiful challenge in Tobago.
At the back of me stands Hope's St. George's Anglican Church. On November 2nd in 1947, the foundation stone was laid, and in April 1948, the building was completed. Bishop Jackson consecrated the church, and like in many villages on the island, it's a focal point for weekend activities. We all know the saying, hard work pays off. So when you work hard, you should be rewarded. That's what this next story is all about. Take a look.
Track and field athletes Kellyanne Batiste and Akeem Stewart are the Tobago House of Assembly's Sportswoman and Sportsman of the Year. The athletes were honored at the THA Sport Awards, which recognized the contributions made by athletes, coaches and administrators for 2015.
Competition by its very nature inevitably means that but only a few of all nominees will be singled out as winners. Those that are not singled out, I say to you, be not despondent. Rather, use this as an added impetus to dig a bit deeper, to work a bit harder. There is no reward like one gained through an honest commitment to your goal.
Other awards included Club of the Year, which went to the Aquaforce Dragon Boat team, Sport Association of the Year, Tobago Basketball Zonal Commission, Coach of the Year, Wade Franklin, Sport Media Personality of the Year, Nigel Johnson, Most Outstanding Community Sport Project, Tobago Netball League, Sporting Official of the Year, Keon York, Para Athlete of the Year, Akeem Stewart, and the Sporting Icon of the Year, Martha Archer. The Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport also honored the Bonaccord Government Primary School for winning 2 national football titles in 2015. Meanwhile, Bonaccord's Kyle Jack was named the top primary school athlete male, while Janig Degans walked away with the female title. Tyreek Hosford is the 2015 male secondary school athlete, while Chelsea James is the top secondary school female athlete. The Sport Awards was held under the theme Celebrating Excellence. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
This road leads us to Hope Anglican Primary School, obliquely opposite to the Anglican Church. In the next story, we focus on how critical occupational safety and health is in the workplace. That's why it's important to honor those who raise awareness about health and safety. It's also the inspiration behind the 2016 Occupational Safety and Health Awards. Here are the winners.
Stefan Rowan, an employee of the Office of the Chief Secretary, is this year's Individual of the Year for the 2016 Occupational Health and Safety OSH Awards. His achievements include drafting a health and safety policy for the division, encouraging staff to attend OSH training programs, assisting in the formulation of Buku's emergency response plan, and supporting initiatives towards fire certification. Even though he topped 4 other entrants with his extensive list of health and safety accomplishments, everyone was commended for their involvement in making their workplaces more secure and wholesome.
Functions like these bring focus to the issue of safety in the workplace. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's event brings together a community of committed people. People committed to preventing death, injury, and ill health to those at work and those affected by work. But more than that, this evening's activity is also about your pivotal role as health and safety ambassadors.
Safety groups were also awarded for their efforts. The Safety Committee from the Office of the Chief Secretary came second with 66 points, while the Division of Community Development and Culture won the Most Effective Safety Committee title with 72 points.
Health and safety to me is a serious responsibility, and when you have a division to take care of, the main responsibility of the employer, in this case the Tobago House of Assembly, is to provide a safe working environment for all the employees, and that to me is a very big responsibility. And if you do not have a safety committee in a division, I really don't know how we're going to survive.
The divisions that were most compliant with the safety and health regulations during the 2015 biennial OSH audit were also recognized. Third place went to the Office of the Chief Secretary with 56% compliance. The Division of Settlements and Labour was second with 58%. And the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport was first with a 60% compliance rate.
Such an achievement, not the guy who lost his life, but the achievement of no death in the last year, or no fatalities in the last year. Such an achievement is the result of the collective efforts of employees and management working together to create a safe environment. And a safe environment doesn't just come by chance. It has to be worked on, it has to be planned.
In addition to the awards ceremony, a month-long OSH caravan visited the various divisions. Employees were able to get information on work-related stress and access to free health screenings. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
I'm standing in front of the Hope Anglican School, built in 1963. It's also one of the oldest schools on the island, known for excellence in academics and sports. As we're on the topic of schools, our next story is all about the big exam. Students across the country have spent the majority of their primary school life preparing for the secondary school assessment. But before Tobago's students put pen to paper, they got encouragement from a very special individual. Let's see how that went in this story.
We are pleased to have in our presence our Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, the Honorable Mr. Orville London, who is here to do a presentation to you all.
The Chief Secretary Orville London visited 6 schools in his electoral district of Calderhall, Scarborough, to motivate students before they sat the Secondary Entrance Assessment or SEA exams on May 5th. He visited North Regional SDA Primary, Mason Hall Government Primary, St. Andrew's Anglican, Scarborough Methodist, Scarborough SDA, and Scarborough Roman Catholic with this message.
Many of the teachers are still here. The principal has been around for some time. But most importantly, the institution, the school, North Regional, is the same North Regional of 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And I'm saying that if those who came before you did so well, you can do even better.
But that was not all. The Chief Secretary also distributed stationery kits to ensure that the students were equipped with the tools they needed.
We just want to thank you for taking time off to come and give us these tokens, and we greatly appreciate them.
I'm preparing for SEA by revising all the work that our teacher has given us and reviewing most of the topics that I have trouble with and taking every minute and every hour in order to understand them properly.
This was the last pre-SEA distribution by Mr. London in his role as Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
Coming up, police host town meeting in Bell Garden. See you after the break.
Going to Barbados? Why continue to pay high prices when you can get there for only US $231.95, all taxes included? Yes, you heard right. You can now travel to Barbados from Tobago for a mere US $231.95 on Gold's weekly service. So if you're going to Barbados for business, the beach, crop over, or attending university, stop wasting your money on those other high-priced airlines and get there for a fraction of the cost. To book, just log on to www.vogel.com.br. Barbados just got closer.
From the turquoise waters of the Caribbean Sea, through lush tropical rainforest and picturesque seaside villages, to the rugged coast of the Atlantic Ocean on Tobago's east coast, experience a destination marathon like no other. Sponsored by Flow and Republic Bank Limited. 4 races, 2 days, 1 finish line. The Tobago Sea-to-Sea Marathon, May 21st and 22nd, 2016. Come for the race, stay for the place. The possibilities are endless. Register now at sea2seamarathon.com and get ready to experience the beautiful challenge in Tobago.
This road leads us into the housing project here in Hope. This part of the village is called Blenheim. The homes here were built in keeping with the Assembly's mandate to construct houses reasonable enough to ensure families can afford them and ensure better living conditions. Speaking about better living conditions, the next story gives us some insight into providing better living conditions for a community. Residents of Bell Garden used the police town meeting to bring their concerns straight to the protective services. Here's more.
Sometimes it confuses me that you might have a problem and you go to a police officer and the way they react to you, it's amazing sometimes. So I believe the police service has a lot more work to be done with their officers. Human relations.
That's one area where residents in Bell Garden feel the police service can improve. And they all got the chance to state their concerns to the top brass of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Services Tobago Division. It's the latest installment of the Police Services monthly community meeting series. And it's an area that's currently being improved.
Well, I can assure you that there has been consistent and rigorous training in terms of customer service across the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and Tobago is no exception. Right now, we have personnel at the station at Scarborough right now and Crown Point. We have a customer service representative at those stations. So when you come in the station, they can approach you and deal with you.
They also had the chance to engage officers directly to have their problems heard.
I have a problem with the Roxborough Police. I went there with a complaint that I'm having and undergoing, and it's driving me up a wall. It's about a mechanic garage right there in Coconut Drive that they operate and block the road, and you cannot pass. I've been to the station several times to complain after speaking to them, the workers and who are there, or how they just block us from getting in and out. They will curse you. And the police told me, Adina, that they can't go down there.
Mama, I hear you and I feel it for you. The sergeant in charge of the station is here now. I would want him to speak with you before you leave.
Residents in the area also called for a neighborhood watch.
That's a very, very good idea, and I'm hoping that the Bell Garden community, that is something for the residents of Bell Garden to take that initiative and run with it.
The town meeting is meant to bridge the gap between the public and the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
We're on the hilltop of Blenheim overlooking Hope Village, a view where one can relax, unwind, be inspired to even write a calypso, as our next story unfolds with the Bacchanal Calypso tent right here in Tobago. The tent has been classed by its founding members as a cultural entity to provide expression and promote the oral tradition that is calypso. Manager of the Calypso tent, Valentine McKenzie, explained that avenues such as this allow for up and coming calypsonians to shine.
So if you show me love, I show in love too. But if you're wicked and spiteful, I turn it wrong to you. But if you're nice and sweet, call me sugar dumpling. But if you have no love and no sympathy, well, expect the same damn thing.
This is Sweet Calypso as we know it. Calypsonian Slicky performs a classic during a recent presentation of the Bacchanal Calypso tent. The tent has been classed by its founding members as a cultural entity developed to provide expression and promote the oral tradition through the Calypso art form. The tent is primarily based in the windward end of the island and is focused on highlighting Calypsonians from East Tobago. Manager of the Calypso tent, Valentine McKenzie, believes that this approach allows for up-and-coming artists to shine.
Yes, well, we need that exposure for the windward artists, because what we can see for the past is that most likely the artists in the Scarborough area will get more exposure than the windward. So we are really trying our best now to expose the artists in the windward end of Tobago.
Our their conscience gone, our their conscience gone. I would like to know why we people just behave so.
A number of Calypsonians from the tent were on show when the group held a prize giving at the Delaford Community Center. The event was the culmination of what the tent describes as a successful carnival. They also used the opportunity to show appreciation to those who have assisted along the way.
The help that we got this year from the Division of Community Development was great. And we decided to show some thanks. Because in everything that you do in this world, in this life, I believe you should give thanks. And we at the Bacchanal tent, we decided to give thanks to the community development, where we invited the Secretary for Culture, Community Development and Culture, Dr. Denise Angus, to come and bring an address and to present checks to the performance.
The tent is in the process of opening a music school with the purpose of teaching the art of reading music and playing instruments.
Oh boys, we gotta take control. Don't let Satan control. We live, we live, we live, we live, we live.
Homage was also paid to the Aquarians Brass Band, who has supported them since inception. Aquarians is the only all-Tobago brass band that provides support to Calypsonians in tents. From the Division of Community Development and Culture, I'm Kimberly Job for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's Have Your Say time, and we want to hear some of your creative solutions to our question this week. Do you think the introduction of speed guns will have an effect on our driving? Here's what you had to say.
I think the introduction of the speed gun should not be in Tobago. For instance, we don't have enough roads in Tobago. Tobago is a smaller place. It should be introduced mainly in Trinidad.
I find it a bad thing, but I find on the highway and think they could create up the speedometer a little bit more, at least to 100, you know.
I think it is a good implementation of the government because it helps lessen the accidents on the national road.
As I drive on the road, sometimes I don't be speeding too, but you know the speed gun kind of cut down on the speeding on the road and save a lot of people's life also.
Good for Tobago, because first to begin, we are no road to run and to speed here. So what is sense? I find it good. But I don't know, sometimes it could be different in Trinidad.
So much accident taking place in this time now. So I believe these speed guns is really, it will be a good effect on the nation.
As always, we thank you for watching. Remember, you can send us your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and productive week.
Credit cards in the steps. Everybody, my homegirls tried to let me. Hands up.